So today we're looking at Underseal at the rear of the vehicle. As you can see, there's quite a lot of it removed already by me. So this is a video just to show you how it's all done. So I've got a whole bunch of protective equipment on here, and I'm using a angle grinder with a wire cup in there to remove all this underseal. So all this protective equipment that I've got on, I've got a respirator to stop me breathing in anything that's unpleasant. I've sped up some of this because I have spent probably about 6 hours removing underseal from the underneath this vehicle. So in terms of safety equipment, so I've got respirator, goggles, I've got the ear defenders on as well, but to be honest I didn't really need them. You need them more in the wheel arches because it's really loud in there. But underneath the car, because I've got it so high up, it's not as bad as I expected it to be. So this is what the underside of the car currently looks like, with underseal all over the place, some of it partially removed as you can see, and some stuff that I've rust treated as well just to try and keep it nice. So the underside of the vehicle, once you've got the underseal off, is relatively good. The sort of darker grey bits, here's me again a day later, the darker grey bits is bare steel, but the kind of green coloured stuff, we call it dust coming off the angle grinder. So that's the cut brush that I'm using on the angle grinder. The green painted stuff, that is the actual original paint colour underneath everything on the Subaru, or this particular one anyhow. So I think they've been dipped in something, and it's kind of like its primer coat from the bare steel, and it was probably dipped in that when it came out of the factory. So as you can see, when it's nicely sped up on video, the angle grinder with the wire cup does get rid of the underseal relatively quickly, but it depends on how thick it is, because certain areas, as you'll see later on, are much thicker than other areas. So basically what I'm going to be doing today is removing all this stuff, and as you can see, as it comes off, it kind of creates this sort of fake cobweb kind of affair going on, which is quite amusing. And all I've got to do is I've got to go around and scrape all this underseal off the vehicle. The idea being that if there's anything nasty to uncover, I'll uncover it now. I'll be able to treat it, be able to cut it out, weld in new steel if need be, and generally make it nice for another 20-30 years hopefully. So you can see there all the stuff coming off the angle grinder. This angle grinder that I'm using, it's a Clark Contractor angle grinder. It's a really good piece of kit. It very, very, very rarely cuts out. That's next door's dog barking, by the way. So it doesn't cut out. Sometimes angle grinders, when they get too hot, they cut out. This one doesn't. So it's the Contractor version. And it's really good. Really like it. It's got an adjustable setting on it, so you can set it at all sorts of different speeds. I've got it on about setting 4 for this. Setting 6 is the highest, so it's about midway through the speed settings. So I don't know if you can see me just rubbing over this bit here. That is actually a rubber bung in the bottom of the spare wheel well. So I just took a little bit of time to get all this cleared off. It's surprising really that a wire cut brush didn't actually damage the rubber at all. I'll clean that off for you guys so you can see what's going on again. I've got to that age now where I make funny noises. Sorry. So I'm going to remove the rubber bung now. What's this? What is all this? So, nice little replay for you. Ooh, what is that? So, Little story for you with this one. This vehicle was owned by my friend, and his dad used to run it whilst my friend was in the forces. And I used to go to the gun club, and as you can see there, that is a gun pellet, because we're not allowed to shoot real guns in the UK. And I think he must have spilt a box of pellets in the car, because for the last 10 years I've been finding pellets all over this thing. It's hilarious. So here's some more sped up footage of the removing all the underseal from the car. I can imagine a lot of questions that people want to ask, and it was a question that I had was, how hard is this to do? And I'll be honest with you, it were hard. There's no other way to put it. What I had to do was sit there underneath the car in a load of overalls with my arms up all the time, using an angle grinder to scrape all the stuff off. It's pretty tiring, it has to be said, and you can see how I keep just dropping the angle grinder down. It's because your arms start to ache after a little bit. It's quite unpleasant, very uncomfortable work. But the sped up footage makes it look a lot better, because this took a long time to do. So one of the things I'm quite pleased about with this cut brush angle grinder kind of setup is that for the most part, and you'll be able to see it here, it's retaining the original factory finish of the steel. So as I talked about earlier, it seems to have a bit of primer on it. So that's really what I was after. But you'll notice that there's some grey patches where I've kind of burnt through, but that's also where there is some corrosion and rust. So I need to clear this back, and this is the whole reason for removing the underseal, is to see what's behind it, and if it is a rust patch or something like that, it needs to be fully treated before I recoat it. At this stage, I've not entirely decided what I'm going to use to recoat it. So I'm probably going to use something black, just to try and make it look a little bit better underneath there. There are loads and loads of different underseals on the market. I might do a test, so get a couple of different ones and give them a go. What I won't be using is something called Hammerite. I'm not entirely convinced as to its ability to stop rust. Pretty much everything I've ever put Hammerite on has ended up rusting in between that coating. Now that could be my preparation that wasn't correct, but I'm just not convinced by it. That's my own personal preference. I'm not being paid by anyone to say those kinds of things. But there's loads of stuff on the market. I'm probably going to go with popular opinion, so I'll be trolling the forums and things like that to see what people are using to coat the underside of their classic cars. But the main thing at the moment is to clear off all this rust. This section here with the brackets and the bolts, that's actually for the rear silencer heat shield that fell off. And as you can see, that bracket's coming off. So that'll be coming off soon. And you can see just the amount of dust and rubbish that's all over it. But it's all pretty solid stuff. So it's going to be able to be restored. So this is me doing the old health and safety trick. Look, me putting goggles on. Well done, Pete. You got your respirator on. Yep, very good, mate. Excellent. Super. Is all comfy? We're all good? Yeah, nicely tight. Yeah, you haven't put your hood up, have you, kid? And you haven't got your gloves on. Well, you haven't got the right gloves on, anyhow. So this is what happens when you start to get a little bit tired. You start to make a few mistakes. So after this session, I went inside and my wife took one look at me and said, "What the hell have you been doing?" I had it in my hair, I had it around my face. There's no point in me buying something that's hooded to try and keep all the rubbish off you and then not put the hood up. So try and learn from me. So I've managed to clear off that silencer bracket quite well. So this is another option for removing underseal, and I thought I'd give it a go. So this is a hot air gun. Sometimes use it to strip gloss paint from wood, so doors, architraves, skirting boards, that kind of thing. So as you can see, you're putting quite a bit of heat into it to scrape it off. I'm using a small bladed screwdriver, so it does take it off quite well, but it takes a long time, and you're introducing heat into the panel. So there's a little bit of a risk of distortion. Plus, as you'll see later, you'll get smoke. I think you can see a bit of smoke billowing. Yay, there you go. So there's the risk of fire as well. So that's clearing underseal off the bottom of a Subaru Impreza. Yeah, it's a lot of effort. It's tiring. My hands are just going like... Right now, it's like I've been drumming for about 6 weeks. I'm roasting under here. I'm covered in stuff, as you can probably see. Yeah, it's not much fun at all. But uncovering all this, I am identifying a lot of rust spots that need to be treated. Otherwise, if I leave it as it is, give it another 10 years, and they'll become holes, and it'll be even harder to fix. So doing it now means that I don't have to do it in the future. Anyhow, I'm going to call it a day on this one, so catch you again for the next one, hopefully very, very soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment if you've got a better way of doing this, because god damn it, I need a better way of doing this.